Before the blessing, lower the noise to hear the truth. The moment right before a blessing rarely looks dazzling. It feels like a windless night, fewer sounds, more empty space, sometimes a trace of loneliness and loss. We easily mislabel it as failure or the universe turning away, but in truth, it is a ritual of washing the hands, releasing old attachments so your hands are free to receive what is worthy. The turn does not start with fireworks. It begins when the nervous system changes languages, from panic to trust, from reflex to response. A woman notices she needs less external validation and far more inner consent. She observes instead of judging, breathes instead of debating, and lets silence do its work. The old order, roles, labels, timelines that once felt safe, loosens. That looseness isn't loss, it's a safety corridor for the new to enter. As life's pace relaxes, dim signals surface. The body asks for rest, the mind wants cleaner inputs, the heart loses appetite for half-hearted fun. She starts disabling notifications, shrinking social circles, and prioritizing conversations that are real. From that ground, a new habit forms. Look inward before running outward. Peace does not arrive because things become easy. It arrives because she stands in the right place, at the center of herself. And from that center, a blessing needs no drums to announce itself. It comes as correctness felt in the body. Shoulders settle, breath deepens, eyes brighten. That is the opening cue. Lower the noise to hear the truth. The woman who embraces this cue will find clarity not in the world's applause, but in her body's yes. She becomes less concerned with keeping pace and more committed to keeping faith, with her timing, her boundaries, her essence. She does less so that more can arrive. She speaks less so that her presence can say more. And from that quietly reordered center, life begins to reorganize around her. Opportunities that nourish, relationships that honor, work that breathes. This is not retreat, it is return. Not shrinking, but refining. Not weakness, but alignment. The soil in which a true blessing takes root. Sign 1. Inner disturbance, the soul's expansion pressure. Discomfort rises like a muted quake. What used to be certain now wobbles. What once consoled now feels tight. Many rush to plaster over the unease with work, purchases, scrolling. A woman in preparation, however, will sit with the tremor. She understands discomfort is not punishment, it is expansion pressure making room for something larger. Neurobiologically, when we stay with unease, adaptive circuits engage. The brain shifts from avoidance to learning, the body shifts from fight-flight to regulation. Practice is simple yet profound. A hand to the heart, a 4-6 breath, naming the emotion, I'm worried, 10 honest lines in a journal, just to remain. In that remaining, limiting beliefs shapeshift into view. I only have worth when I'm useful. If I loosen my grip, I'll lose everything. Love requires sacrifice. When seen, they lose power. She begins to swap I must be strong for I must be honest, push through for pause wisely. Expansion resembles labor pains, not pleasant, but meaningful. Each contraction, one hard conversation, one clean no, one decision to wait, stretches her capacity to hold more life. On the far side of each wave, new space appears. Less need to prove, less craving to win, more quiet assurance. She discovers that discomfort isn't a wall, it is a doorway. Instead of sprinting back to the familiar, she takes one brave step into the unknown, then another, letting her breath lead. She calibrates her days around recovery as much as reach, letting integration catch up with ambition. She learns to bless the ache not because she enjoys it, but because it shapes her into someone who can receive without collapsing. This is the first sign of a blessing approaching. The inside shakes in order to make room, not to break apart. Sign 2. releasing what once defined you. Detachment isn't indifference, it is compassion for truth. We let go not because the past was wrong, but because it has completed its assignment. Titles, images, roles, even a style of safety stop fitting. At first it feels like loss, a tree shedding leaves, bare and exposed. But the tree does not complain, it prepares to bud. So does she. She slows a half-hearted relationship, closes a project that doesn't feed her, stops trying to be understood where there's no listening. Every release crosses the hollow, awkwardness, guilt, nostalgia, but it's precisely the hollow that lets new signals find her. People who respect boundaries, opportunities on her frequency, rhythms that make heart warm, shoulders lower, eyes shine. Psychologically, letting go rewires the brain, from clutching for safety to seeking alignment for peace. She changes metrics from praised to true, from chosen to illuminated. The micro moves matter, not rereading threads to self-torment, not reviving conversations that lost quality, not replying when her body contracts. She learns kind refusals and gentle acceptance. As cords fall, breath deepens. As armor releases, skin meets real air. Detachment doesn't make her smaller, it makes her spacious. Spacious enough for a blessing to land. She begins to trust timing more than momentum, substance more than spectacle. She accepts that some bridges burn not from anger, but from clarity. She thanks what carried her and returns it with grace. Then she faces forward, soft-eyed, steady-voiced, open-handed. Loss turns into lightness, space turns into invitation, and invitation turns into alignment. Sign 3. Intentional solitude, where clarity is cultivated. To be alone from fear is escape. To be alone from self-respect is practice. She chooses intentional solitude, stepping back from gatherings that empty her, guarding quiet mornings, walking without earphones, sitting with the blank page. In the brain, solitude activates the default mode network, memory, emotion, meaning, so she can connect the dots. Emotionally, it trains independence, to sit near sadness without sinking, to witness joy without grasping, to face fear without surrendering. She starts distinguishing companionship from filling a void, conversation from killing time, compatibility from mere chemistry. A new metric appears: nourishment. After a meeting, does her breath deepen or shorten? After a workday, is she full or hollow? Solitude also regulates the body. Heart steadies, breath lengthens, the parasympathetic system speaks. When the body is calm, the mind is clear. She stops asking, "What do they think of me?" and starts asking, "What does my body think of them?" She learns that blending in is not the same as belonging, and kindness to others begins with kindness to herself. Quiet becomes a magnetic field. She doesn't need to perform for attention. Her consistency makes others feel safe. Solitude, then, doesn't cut her off from life, it reconnects her to life through a private, clean line. From there, she curates inputs, edits commitments, and unhurriedly chooses better words. She discovers that stillness is not the absence of motion, but the presence of direction. And direction is exactly what a blessing requires. A centered woman who knows how to hold space without losing herself in it. Sign 4. Somatic wisdom. The body is a compass that doesn't lie. After years of willpower, she relearns the language of the body. Tight jaw tells of suppression, clenched chest of violated boundaries, knotted belly of old fear. Rather than fixing the body, she listens to it. Small, potent rituals, 4-6 breathing, a hand to the tense spot, slow stretches, a park walk, eating in quiet, closing the screen when the pulse races, activate the vagus nerve and shift the body from vigilance to settling. In dialogue, she speaks sensation rather than accusation. My chest tightened and breath shortened, invites closeness, you always pushes away.
Symptoms become data to recalibrate schedule, boundaries, and methods. Health redefines from aesthetic to attunement. Sleep enough, breathe deep, move mindfully, process feelings timely. As she learns to self-soothe, she projects less. When she needs help, she asks cleanly, "I need 20 minutes of quiet. Can you hold me for a minute?" Homes, workplaces, and relationships change color. Less theater, more texture. Less pressure, more support. The body doesn't slow her down, it points the way so she can move rightly. And when she moves rightly, the blessing doesn't overwhelm. It arrives, and she has the capacity to keep it. Across days, her posture opens, her tone warms, her timing gets wise. She trusts that the body's no, contraction, and yes, expansion, are sacred traffic lights. She lives by them, and as she does,